Hello and welcome to our weekly live show. I am Fabiana Claure, pianist and business strategist for musicians. I'm the founder and CEO of the Musicians Profit Umbrella, a global business mentorship program for musicians and creatives where we help them create six-figure leaps by uniting all their skills, musical and non-musical, and create a high-ticket program and a self-sustaining business so that they can create their life on their own terms, be able to spend time on their artistic pursuits, spend time with their family, take care of themselves, and develop their ideal and entrepreneurial life without having to sacrifice the quality of any aspect of their life. And today I'm very excited to talk about a very important topic, which is about how to create a brand that attracts ideal clients and why this is something very, very important, especially in today's world where there's such an overwhelming abundance of noise and saturation and just it's just such a crowded place in the marketplace right now. Why it's important to understand the foundational pieces of creating a brand that attracts ideal clients. And here's the thing that I want you to all to think about as you're looking at this topic for today's session. What is the most important thing when we're trying to attract our ideal clients? I want to ask you this as you're watching. Those of you who are watching live, chime in the comments. Let me know, by the way, where you're watching me from. Share with me if you're watching this inside our Facebook group or in the YouTube. Where are you watching me from? But what is your top question when you think about building your brand and attracting ideal clients? What is the thing you struggle with the most? Let me know in the comments. I would love to hear from you because this is going to help me also tailor today's presentation. If I see your comments, I'll be able to also respond in real time and help you address this initial issue as I'm sharing. But one of the things I want you to know is that when we envision attracting our ideal clients, we can think that it's about us shining our light and understanding how to attract people to us, to the causes that we want to talk about, to the vision that we want to share. But I also want you to know that yes, that's a part of this process, but it's also a part where you need to understand what are the things that your ideal clients want. What are the conversations that they are having right now? What are the struggles that they're having? And you need to put yourself almost like embody yourself in their shoes, right? And really feel what is it that they're struggling with right now. Because here's the thing. One of the biggest obstacles that I see kind of stand in the way between musicians being able to effectively communicate and attract their ideal clients and those who don't is that you are at a place right now in your life, in your career, where you have already mastered certain things. You have already overcome certain challenges, right? And you are at a place where you're trying to help others overcome those, perhaps the same challenges that you've overcome, or be able to cross that bridge, so to speak. And so when you're in this place of already having crossed the street, let me put it that way, you're already at the other side of the story. We accidentally start talking about the things we want to attract our clients to from that side of the story, from that side of the successful side, the side that was able to overcome everything successfully. But guess what? Our ideal clients are not in the same side of the road. They're still at the other side. They're still struggling. They're still having to deal with the things that perhaps we had to deal with a long time ago. And so when you want to create a brand that attracts your ideal clients, you need to put yourself back into their operating reality. Instead, what I see happen all the time in the musicians that I coach is that they go into their operating reality and they're trying to talk about the issues and the problems they're trying to help solve from their side of the road, having already overcome those challenges, having already been able to be successful. And so that creates disconnect. And that's why when you think about, oh my gosh, I'm not really connecting with my ideal clients effectively enough. What can I do? My answer in a nutshell is put yourself back into their operating reality. Go back to where they are. Put yourself back. Think about what are the things that they are thinking about right now? What are the things they're telling themselves? What are the stories they're telling themselves about the issues that they have? Because remember, this isn't just about the problems, it's about the way they see their problems. It's about the stories they tell themselves about their problems. Can you relate to those? Can you relate not just to the problems they're dealing with, but can you relate to their perceptions of the problem? And if the answer is yes, then that's how you attract your ideal clients. It's by creating a brand and connecting through your story, through your message, not to where you want them to be, not just talking about the happy ending, the successful result, the wisdom, the experience, the knowledge that you now have, having been able to overcome the challenges that they are dealing with, but instead is putting you back on their side of the story and talking about the problems from their lens, from their perceptions, from their operating reality, right? So I want to encourage you to maybe think about this when you're looking at your strategic content and the messaging and the way you talk about the things you want to share with your audience, with your community, as a creative. Is like, am I speaking based on my operating reality, or am I speaking based on their operating reality? There's a saying that says for you to magnetize your ideal clients, you need to get yourself into their head. You need to understand what they're telling themselves, and you need to be able to present them a solution from those stories, from those conversations that they're telling themselves. You need to be able to understand how to shift them into being able to work with you and understand your value, but going back to where they are. And once you do that, there's an immediate opportunity to create connection. And your ideal clients listen to your message and they are like, oh my gosh, you get me. You relate. I can relate to what you're saying. We're alike. And where there's likeness, where there's relationship, immediately you start building trust. And the number one ingredient that you need in your ideal clients to be able to come to you is trust, right? And so how do you build that trust? Is by speaking from their operating reality, by talking about the issues that you know they have, not just the ones you want to help them fix. Again, you are at a place where you've already overcome certain challenges. You've already overcome all these obstacles. You know what it's like to be on the other side of the road. But in order for you to create a brand that attracts ideal clients, you have to cross that side of the road and go back to where your ideal clients are. You have to be able to connect with them by sharing your story, by talking about the problems, by talking not just about the actual problems that they're facing, but how they're facing those problems. What are the stories they're telling themselves about those problems? What are the internal roadblocks that they're having to deal with, right? Relating to that, speaking on that, not on what you know they can achieve. Now, does this mean you shouldn't be aspirational or you should only be digging into the pain? No, not at all. This isn't about digging into the pain only. You're totally okay to also talk about, future pacing and helping them see what could be possible with your solution. That is also part of the equation. I'm not saying it's not. But most of the times, as entrepreneurs, as creative entrepreneurs, we tend to just live in this happy place and really talk about it from that happy place, from having crossed the street. And so for you to be effective, you need to go back and you be able to relate and almost think like you're getting yourself in their heads. What are the things that they're telling themselves about their situation? Do they feel optimistic? Do they feel pessimistic? Do they realize what the real problem is? Or do they think it's a different problem that they may be overseeing? All of these are questions that you need to ask yourself and really think that you're literally putting yourself in their shoes in order to find those points of connection, those points of similarity that will allow them to connect with you and to pay attention to you and to understand that you are their person, that you get them, that you understand them, right? And one of the things that I do in the work that I do and the way I position my message, let's say the work that I do as a business strategist for musicians, etc., is really emphasize the fact that my journey has come from being a musician and an entrepreneur and having had that duality of having to balance both of those things and understanding that even though I've been able to accomplish things in my life right now, there have been certain steps that I've had to take and ups and downs that I've gone through personally. And it's only when I open up and I share that journey and I become vulnerable and embrace the vulnerability and show and share, what this journey has looked like. It's only in those moments that I really understand and realize the power of connection and people relate and people can connect. But oftentimes when we're trying to create our visibility and build our brand and we feel that we need to show ourselves as this heroic persona, this like superstar that's got it all figured out and we're perfect and it's like we're on the top of the mountain. And that inadvertently creates the opposite effect. They feel like you're too inaccessible, you're too perfect, and that they can't relate. So my call to action, my number one takeaway I hope you will take from this training today is be unapologetically yourself. Let people see you for who you are. Don't feel that you have to sugarcoat things, and understand that your greatest challenges, the things that you've really struggled with, are where your clients are right now. And you don't need to just skim through that. That's what they want to know. They want to know, how real are you? They want to know, can you understand them? And chances are you can. Chances are you're building this business based on your experience, based on the things you've had to overcome. So talk about that. Connect with where your clients are right now. Be okay with embracing vulnerability. And you will see how your message is going to set itself apart from the crowd, and you're going to set yourself apart, and your ideal clients are going to be magnetized to you, but not just because of you, but because of them, because of the way they see themselves through your story, your journey. So I hope this helps. Let me know what your number one takeaway was from our session, and I look forward to continuing these conversations. Let's prosper together.